Welcome to Creator Review, the series that finally got more presentable thumbnails. This episode's creator is M2Col. I don't think M2Col really needs an introduction, he's just the demon part guy. He also has a relatively short catalog, only 4 levels, all made from 1.0 to 1.4. Now, so I don't pull another Jax, I actually went ahead and looked through all of his levels before committing to making this video, and I have concluded that yes, there is indeed enough to justify this video's existence. Let's get going. Fun fact, this is within the first 1,000 levels ever uploaded. M by M2Col is pretty good for how ungodly early it is. That said, it's not really all that good. The gameplay is basic, but that's really to be expected. It has really bad shit like blind jumps, but overall it's harmless. Let's go with a 4. The deco is once again expectedly empty, but it does have its interesting bits. The object limit back then was like 5k, I believe, so M2Col couldn't really do much with what he was given, and so he just made the most of it. For its time, it's creative. The decorative spikes under some slabs is cool, the roof in the beginning part is cool. It's unique for its time, but also very empty. I'll go with another 4 here. The sync is once again unexpectedly good for back then. Levels didn't really have sync at all until X-Step happened, so to see a level from before X-Step actually have sync, more than just, you know, the very basics, is cool to see. Here's 3 sync points, I don't know. Originality is odd. It was one of the very first levels ever made, so it's by default original. It has some interesting structuring with the slabs, which is pretty common for M2Col, but this was his first level, so I don't know. The flying sections are also neat. You know what? Here's another 3 points. Final score, 14. And we're already at Demon Park. I don't think I need to comment much on the influence this level has. It was the hardest thing someone ever made back then when it was first made, and looking at it, it's also a surprisingly well-made level for its time. The gameplay is unforgiving and aged, but not bad. You can still have fun with it as a more experienced player. I'll give it a 7 actually. The deco is once again surprisingly good looking back. There's some really cool structuring here, especially for the standards of 1.2. M2Col indicating that you're supposed to jump with a spike in the block is actually a cool idea. The orbs in the blocks about 70% in is cool as well. The ship art has some really interesting structures. It's just overall pretty ahead of its time. You can obviously do better, but you can do a lot worse. Let's say a 6. The sync is really good, which is typical for Time Machine levels. It has its less stellar moments, but it's overall solid. 3. And finally, originality. This is a 4 since while it takes elements from Time Machine, it's still very original in its concepts. Final score, 20 out of 30. Incompleted Park is exactly what it sounds like. It's just an unfinished level that somehow got rated 3 stars. It's inoffensive, really. Most of the level takes place in a corridor like the jumper one as the cube, and it's fine. The ball after is also fine, just clearly incomplete. I'll just rapid fire the stats for this one as I really don't have anything to say about it. 4, 3, 2, 2, 11 out of 30. And now we arrive at Psychic Escape. This is, to my knowledge, M2Col's only 1.4 level and also the final level he ever made. It's once again surprisingly good. The gameplay suffers from typical M2Col funkiness, but it's still enjoyable and I had a fun time beating it for this video. I'm going to give it a 7. The deco is once again solid stuff. It's clear that he's learned from Demon Park and M while also trying out the 1.4 style, and I'd say it worked out well for him. There are some genuinely cool ideas in here. The ship corridor in the first drop is a cool idea for back then, and the final cube also has cool use of the wavy slabs from 1.3. It's just solid. I'm going to give it a 6 again. The sync is good, as once again is typical for Clutterfunk levels, 4 points. And finally the originality, it's granted derivative of Clutterfunk, but still has some ideas here and there, 3 points. Final score, 20 out of 30. And with that, we can calculate M2Col's final creator score, which is 5.41 out of 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. M2Col, as influential as he is, didn't really make anything outstanding. Sure, Demon Park, but that's purely because of its difficulty. 2 of his levels were more experimental, while his other 2 were actually quite good, but nothing really more. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.